The greatest goal you ever scored and the hardest defender you played against, please.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Greatest goal I ever scored. Oh, my word. That's a hard one. The hardest players, well, I played against Mark Lawrenson and Alan Hansen. I played with Mark Lawrenson at Brighton before he left and went to Liverpool. But in terms of the hardest pair of centre-halves that I played against, in terms of football and the way they were great players, read the game well, they were both quick. Mm-hmm. They were the hardest in terms of the teams I played against. I know that David May's watching this because I've seen a text come up on my phone, and he wasn't the hardest, so he can stop sending me texts. But the two hardest players that I played against in terms of physicality, and they used to kick you all over the pitch, were two lads that played for Oxford. Gary Briggs and Malcolm Shotton. And honestly, they just lamped you all over the place. They used to keep Malcolm Shotton would keep me up for 3 or 4 things, and then he'd pass me over to Gary Briggs, and he'd keep me up and then pass me over to him. I used to hate playing against them too. But in terms of football, it was definitely Alan and Mark Lawrenson, Alan Hansen, Mark Lawrenson.
Fair. Who's the best player that you played with or against them? Like in your mind, in your career, who's the best player you ever saw or played with or anything like that?
I've got to say, I've mentioned him already. The best player I thought I ever played with was Ray Wilkins when he was at Manchester United. He was much maligned, I think, at United. But if you were looking at somebody that plays in the game now, you know, how much he would be worth. He could drop the ball on a sixpence. A la Scholes, you know, Scholes. I look at Scholes. He's one of the best players I've ever seen. I wish I'd have played with him, and not in a charity game a couple of years ago. I wish I'd have been able.
Did you actually play with him?
Oh yeah, we played it. Yeah, we played a couple of charity games, and he tried to knock balls in for me to run onto, and I can't run now, so I never got on the end of them. But Ray, I was very pleased to say he was a friend, and he was an absolute diamond of a bloke and a fantastic player.